Jeff from afar is also locked in. And here we are on Twitter. It's at Jay Cameron Show. Thanks for joining us as always. There it is, Troy. Right off the bat, man. He's even got the picture up. Arkansas -8 is free money, according to Henry. Everybody is ready to roll with opinions, wagers, and the like. Yeah. By the way, Sean, I hope you and your wife feel better. I was guessing, knock on wood right now, but I was guessing that one of the crew would end up likewise. I mean, when you're in New Orleans, you're in New Orleans. You're in New Orleans.
I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't hang out with anybody. I didn't see anybody.
Do you know that it has been well over 200 days since we saw professional football, of course. 119 of those 200 plus have been since the schedule was announced. So you've had time to formulate wagers, win totals, and the like. You've had everything you needed, right? Everything you've needed, some time to formulate opinions before tonight's kickoff for the National Football League. And if you're wondering, the Rams are a home dog. You're defending Super Bowl champions, a home dog. Now, depending on the book, if you're looking at Caesars, wherever you want to look, the Bills are your odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl. So if you're going to be a home dog, it's not surprising that you might be a home dog to the team that the experts think will win the Super Bowl. By the way, I think the Bills will win the Super Bowl. I agree with that pick. Now, it is a long year, and they play mini games these days. I'm old enough to remember, Tom, a time where 14 game schedules existed. Not long after my youth, 16 became the thing, and now we're up to 17-game regular seasons, but we've had expanded playoff with wild cards that didn't exist in my youth as well.
Got a Monday Night Football wild card game now.
Yeah, so you have a lot of weird things. The point is, if your franchise hasn't won a Super Bowl yet, it's harder now than ever before to win a Super Bowl. So, I hate that for people in Cleveland, Buffalo that had the 4 opportunities there, should have been to the Super Bowl last year, if not for a cataclysmic choke at the end there against Kansas City. But all those moments, right? All these things. It's tough now. It's tough. But I think that Buffalo team, that they'll have to be hungry. I got to imagine pissed. The Bills should play angry every week. They have to feel like they were, I don't know. That's a running kick. That's a running kick to the boys.
It sure is.
I mean, in a way that I don't know that many of us have ever seen.
A little poor situational management, and one of the best players on the planet doesn't get to touch the ball in overtime.
Yeah, just really nuts. So anyhow, that's all out there. We have a little bit of adjustments, several adjustments to make in the world of college football. But this is a time, and I'll just say this because this is Redemption Thursday for people that are new to the show, is really revolves around gambling. That's all there is to it. Thursdays, but it's also insight into the matchups, into the games, and conversations about it and all that. And I give my picks, and we bet that against for charitable purposes, non-perishable food items and the like. You guys keep your tab. It's on the honor system, the whole deal. And yes, I'll get into some FSU too, but it's bye week for FSU, so it makes it even easier for us to start the NFL season and then this week's slate to kind of hyper focus and have as the central theme games that we find perhaps intriguing this weekend. And I think, by the way, tonight's game, the NFL game, I'm pumped. I love this game. I mean, if you're going to kick it off, this is the way to kick it off. And by the way, I have the Bills. I have the Bills on the money line just to win the game.
I have a hard time getting up for Rams games, even when they're good.
It's very strange you
Probably
say
the
it,
uniforms.
Tom. I think it's strange that you say it because I'll tell you something, I concur. I hate the Rams. For no good reason.
But, the greatest show on turf, I'd watch them quicker than I watched
day.
This iteration of the Rams. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't have any axe to grind. Like there's
in those days we did.
Yeah, but there's nothing. I hate that they changed their uniforms. You're right, because they were really good, and these new uniforms suck. But I don't know what it is. Maybe it's McVay.
How can you be an explosive offense and be boring? I don't know what that is. I look forward to watching Cam Akers play, but he had a rough postseason when he came back, and Cooper Kupp is one of the best receivers on the planet, and he's one of the first off the board in fantasy.
Listen, they've got a lot of guys that I like. A lot of guys on their team that I like.
Yeah, Stafford's easy to root for.
Easy. Aaron Donald's a beast.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I mean, he's as fun to watch do his job as anybody in the National Football League.
But it's just I
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
It would be like if the Cardinals won. You're like, all right, opening night in Arizona. Here we go, Buffalo, Arizona. I'd feel the exact same.
Maybe it's geography. Maybe we're just that far away. But I can't put my finger on it either. I don't.
If this was Seattle, I'd watch Seattle. If it was the 49ers, I'd watch the 49ers.
This version of Seattle, I wouldn't want to watch.
No, I'm talking about the location, all of it.
Yeah. No,
there's something about the Rams that's just
off-putting in a weird way.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is either, and I don't disagree with you. It's funny. I've said that before. Either way, they're playing tonight. They are defending champions.
They are.
It is a great game, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see the game. I will say, I mean, if you're looking for marquee matchups and fantasy football and everything else, you got it tonight. I mean, this could be an incredible game. You've got some of the best defenders in all of football in this game. You got uniquely talented offensive players. You have a generational quarterback. Josh Allen is on the cusp of becoming this thing that I don't know that anybody in the league will be able to measure up to.
What a ride it's been, because in the beginning of his career, we joked that, he's a running first quarterback, a running only quarterback.
He struggled for a stretch there.
Right. And then he became just systematically, there was no moment where you said, oh my God, it's Josh Allen. He just got better and better. And it was up to you to accept it or not. And now we all do.
Well, that even happened in the midst of last season.
Yeah.
When they went through that stretch where they played really poorly and lost to Jacksonville, for Christ's sakes. Jacksonville, the Butts. So they lose to the Butts, which is almost impossible. Like, you have to really try to lose to that team. They're that bad. And yet here was this Buffalo team, a juggernaut, and you're like, what? You guys, you're off the rails. And Josh was not playing great, and you began to wonder aloud what is happening. And then all of a sudden, my man, light bulb goes off, and you go, well, I don't think there's anybody better. Nobody's playing better than that. I mean, a combination of a howitzer for an arm. He's huge. He can really run. It's all there. It's all there. And then he played great on the road in the playoffs. Everything you would want. So he was clutch. I mean, quarterbacks, that phrase happens constantly, but it's true. Anyhow, welcome back, NFL. Got a couple games for you tonight. PrizePicks back on the show beginning today. Come on board, PrizePicks. Let's go. PrizePicks has to love me. I'm going to love PrizePicks. I should be fabulously wealthy because of PrizePicks. You guys need to pay me more with all the efforts that I've made to get your name out there. I think I'm personally responsible for PrizePicks even being a thing. People don't even know about PrizePicks. Now, Tom brokered the deal because he's an expert. But in terms of pub.
Another thing, I don't know how that happened, but sure.
In terms of pub, I mean, this guy right here is a walking billboard for PrizePicks. Now, I've made a lot of money gambling on PrizePicks, but they ought to just pay me to stop gambling against them and throw wads of cash at me, and I'll tell everybody else to do what I was doing because it is great. I freaking love PrizePicks. We'll show you our picks in a little bit. I'm missing golf. God, every week I would just PrizePicks had to limber up before I stepped into the room.
The BMW International?
I'm watching it. I watched it this morning. Did you watch?
No.
It's a good course.
That was practice.
Yeah, screw that practice. Yeah, good times. Good times. You ready for the picks?
Yeah, Jordan looked good, folks. Just for the Noles out there. Out of practice, Jordan looked good again.
He's going to look great. He's going to look great. He's got command. We've seen it. We know. The story will be when he does.
You got tired of Jordan being good real fast. You should be like, I can't believe it again.
I've already talked about it. He's got to play another game before we can go on and on and on. I mean, so he was going to practice. Good. What are we going to do? Every time he has a good practice, hey, another good practice. They better be good at practice.
You celebrated.
They're repping the same damn thing.
You fell prostrate when he had a good practice saying, oh, my God, I've seen it.
And, it was so rare. We're tired of it. For a long time, it was rare. Now he did it in a game against an opposing team with real talent that didn't know what was coming and threw a ton of different looks at him. So he's got me. He's got me. Watching them rep the same damn things 150 times, you better make that throw. You've thrown it 1,000 times. I want to see it in a game against good team, and he did. So that's good. And also, Tate Rodemaker looks good every practice. Hey, who cares?
They're repping new stuff. What do you see the Malcolm Ray quarterback package? It's a joke.
Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, and if I let that out of the bag, you talk about getting blacklisted.
Yeah, you would be. But if we were running Malcolm Ray
99
quarterback,
99 dive.
Yeah, that is going to be a problem. All right, let's go. Here we go. You can flash them up on the screen. There's our boys from Metro Deli. Doff of the cap to our friends there, who we also saw in New Orleans and had a good time with. Preservation Hall.
Preservation Hall.
Wasn't that something? One of the greatest things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You know, I got choked up. I'm not even kidding. Watching them perform. The expertise, the musicianship, the feeling, the sense of history, that venue, all of it. It was unreal, overwhelmingly beautiful.
Was within 5 notes. You're just oh no,
forget about it. That guy, all of them. God, I've replayed it in my head time and again. But we were there with Rob from Metro Deli, and doff of the cap to him. I don't see why not. Here are the picks. Let's go. So there's going to be an overreaction. I'm calling this Overreaction Saturday, Tom. I'm going to coin the phrase.
Nobody's ever used that.
Nobody's
phrase before.
ever brought up overreactions from week 1 to week 2. But I'm here to tell you guys, there are a lot of overreactions from the results that happened week 1 on to week 2. And that's where you, as a bettor and a growing expert in the game, can really make hay. Or we could be really wrong and come on here next week and say, whoops, looks like they do suck. That's the gamble. That's how you play. So look, were you surprised when you saw my pick of Louisville?
You know, I haven't run down all 10, but when I did see the headliner, I said, well, he's banking on Louisville. Is this a hope pick? Are you hoping Louisville? Because you talked about it yesterday, how your disaster scenario is that Louisville is terrible in game 2. So this is about your analysis that you believe Louisville might be the better team in this game. Wrong team's favored?
That is correct. Louisville is the better team here. And did you see, I've got these numbers somewhere. I got to find where I put them. Good God, I'm disorganized.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
So Louisville did get blown out by Syracuse. And the problem is the amount of times they were inside Syracuse's 40 and didn't come away with anything. And I'm telling you that the success rate, generally speaking, at finishing drives, being inside your opponent's 46 times and only come away with 7 points total that's not going to continue to happen. They actually should have probably been, at the very least, been in the game late. Couple other factors in there, but I think getting the 6, that this is a close game. I was surprised to get that number. It's a value pick. I actually think Louisville will win the game, but I don't need them to win the game.
No, I sense that if you're going to take Louisville plus the points, you think the wrong team is favored,
given
what happened last week.
Yeah, and let's put it this way. Let's say I see that game, because I kind of do, as a toss-up, as just a 50-50 coin flip game. Well, you're going to take the 6. So, and I really do. But the numbers that I was looking at studying this morning, I really felt pretty strongly that Louisville should have been at worst maybe a 3-point underdog, a 2-point underdog, maybe.
There's the JCS PR firm, and then there's the JCS PR company.
Right.
Because the JCS PR company is the power ratings. So your own proprietary power rating.
Well, it's hard for me to say they're proprietary. I do utilize 9 different things, and I steal from a lot of places and put them together, but
in a proprietary way.
That's mine. Yes. So I took the 6. I like Army over UTSA getting 2.5. I like them to win the game. Oh,
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
I knew you'd like the Army pick, though. Run the ball, boys. Run the ball. UTSA. We'll talk about it later. Michigan State to blow Akron out. Akron has not been competitive against Power 5 teams. I mean, not remotely competitive against Power 5 teams. Some losses a year ago in the 60s. So I feel pretty good about Michigan State steamrolling Akron here, and I'll give the 34.5. Wrong team's favored, Virginia, Illinois, guys. Wrong team's favored.
I knew you would have a play on this game. I was looking at the slate and planning out my day, watching football on a Saturday, and I saw nothing much in the way of top-line billing, where you don't need to bet on it, you just want to watch it. I said, what would be an interesting game? Then I saw there's a lot of orange in the Virginia-Illinois football game, a lot of Navy too, and I thought, you know what? I'll bet Jeff's got a play on it.
You like that play. I could tell. You gravitate towards that play.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
Yeah, that's correct. I like it. Illinois is not a good team, and I think Virginia we'll be able to move the football there, and I'll take that 4.5. I'll do it on the road.
I think Illinois is going to be on the board every week with you. You've got feelings on Illinois.
Well, I pushed with them last week, didn't I? I think it was 3.
Might have been a push,
I lost. Yeah, so I pushed with them last week. I didn't win with them. So, but I'm watching them. 2 fingers to my eyes, 2 fingers back to you, Fat Bielema. Virginia plus 4.5. Iowa State's an overreaction. Iowa State, people love to laud their coach. Good God, do they fawn all over themselves
For
talking
the
about him?
Cy-Hawk Trophy.
That's right. Well, he hadn't beaten Iowa in 6 straight years. He ain't going to beat him this week either.
It's time for him to win the Cy-Hawk Trophy.
So somebody's going to say, Jeff, here's the deal. Iowa, 2 safeties and a field goal last week. They averaged less than 3 yards a carry. They have a terrible quarterback, and they do. And yet here I sit and tell you it won't matter. That's the
lay the 3 plus a hook.
That's right. Lay the 3.5 because Iowa has arguably the best defense in the Big Ten. It is beastly and fun to watch play. Iowa State won't score. Give me the 3.5. Also, Iowa team last week that featured several trips into the red zone that they squandered away because of their sorry-ass quarterback who has been sorry for some time. It's hard to watch him play. But I just need him to do enough to score 14 points, and they'll cover the 3.5. 14! And they're covering, buddy. Minus 3.5. Tulsa minus 6 versus... yeah, I can't even...
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
Oh, you guys. That's good. I'll give more reasons on this later. I got to get through this first segment without it being an hour. I'll come back on some of these. I like Oklahoma State to do whatever they want to Arizona State. I know that final score last week was crazy. What was that, 58-44 or something like that? At one point, they were up 44-10, guys. Don't concern yourself with this. Oklahoma State's going to score a lot of points. Arizona State's coached by Herm Edwards, who's incompetent and senile. Alabama minus 20 against Texas. I don't know how many times I'm going to be able to get Alabama and only lay 20. Texas was terrible last year. They're not going to be appreciably better this year. Alabama minus 20. Hey, I like to watch Texas at running back like everybody else. Robinson's a nice player. Good luck running against Alabama. And when that doesn't work, the ass kicking's coming. Vikings plus 1.5. I like the Vikings as a sleeper team this season.
It's an interesting team this year.
I like them.
It's all about
good.
It's all about the defense.
Yeah,
they've got to replace some players at multiple levels.
Well, they were terrible
every
on
level.
defense. So if they're better, and I think they will be,
it's the whole key. They've done some good work on the offensive line the last couple drafts.
Agreed. I've got Dalvin, by the way. I drafted him.
All right.
I got Dalvin. Come on, Dalvin. Screw the Packers too. Saints minus 5.5 against the Falcons. The Fighting Jameis is going to pace the Falcons, as will most teams.
That feels like a Vegas special.
I
Just
think
like last week's Louisville line did with Syracuse. You're saying this is too good to be true. How is it only 5.5?
You know, it's weird that we have a PrizePicks bet. You and I both do, and we'll bring this out here later. I don't know what they're looking at. I don't know if it's a lack. I'm sure it's a lack of trust for Jameis. I don't know if it's a lack of trust for Jameis and the weaponry in their mind. But it could be that it's an NFC South game, and a lot of those games end up closer than they need to be, even on paper, where one team looks to be much better than the other. But divisional rivals tend to play close games. I mean, how many times have we been in a situation with the Bucs where you're going into the fourth quarter and you're up 7? You're like, this Falcons team's terrible. What are we doing? Now they usually you go on and win the game.
Or the Panthers.
Yeah.
Happens all. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just it's a
5-win Saints team.
Yeah. Happens all the time. So I get maybe that's why the number is that. But I like it. So there are the wagers. We'll vet them a little bit more later. PrizePicks. Yeah, Garrett, you're right. I have just been incredible when it comes to golf PrizePicks, but there were no golf PrizePicks to have. Look at all that money raining down. Look at that money raining down.
We got a new wrinkle.
I like it. Well done, Director Matthew. Let's go. But the golf picks are great, but we're right now. I didn't bet anything on the BMW. Chef Cameron Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio. Warchant TV.
Football at El Jalisco, football at El Jalisco, what a combination. It's a great big celebration. It's football at El Jalisco. I can dig it. Who's playing? Oh, man, everybody. The ACC, the SEC, all the C's, and even the pros. The Bucks, the Steelers, the Giants, the Cowboys. Wow, far out. You bet, man. When the game is on, it's on at El Jalisco with incredible specials on everything from frosty cervezas to salty margaritas. Does Margarita know? Dios mío, not again. The best place to watch the game is El Jalisco. College, pros, Monday night, Thursday night, you name it, El Jalisco is football headquarters. And with 5 Tallahassee area locations, there's probably an El Jalisco right around the corner right now.
Wooden Glass has been taking care of families since 1945.
Experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best, like Wooden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Wooden Glass, and they provide precise installation.
Wooden Glass, Tallahassee's first family in glass. Online at woodenglass.com. Call 850-222-5781.
You were always more than my mom. You were my role model, my best friend, and biggest supporter. You filled my days with unconditional love. And you also prepared for the day when you couldn't be here. Because of the woman you were back then, I'm able to be the woman I am now. Your planning made this moment possible.
Set your family up for life. Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance. Your friends for life.
This is Andy Cohen. When I was a law enforcement officer, I devoted my life to a career of service and protection. Who's protecting you? Give me a call. 850-671-FARM. That's 671-FARM. Helping you is what we do best.
Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi. Not licensed to do business in all 50 states.
Hey, Greg Tish here. Here's something you may or may not know about me, but I have never drank a cup of coffee in my life. Well, until now. So why change now? Well, my dear friend at Grassroots Coffee reached out to me after he heard me say that I don't drink coffee and insisted that I give his product a try. And let me tell you, I've been making a huge mistake. The world of coffee is fascinating. I always thought, well, coffee is coffee, well, you know, but no, it's not at all. Grassroots Coffee has sent me some of their blends to try, and now their Bean Me Up Scotty blend is in our studio. I've got a mug, a hat, and a fascination with learning more about how these guys are making the best coffee in our area. And it's all roasted and bagged right up the road in Thomasville. Order yours now. Just go to grassrootscoffee.com and choose what you want. Join me and let's step up our coffee game together and also support a great local business.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
And it was this. So the game that I was looking for with Louisville, Tom, last week, and here's another reason that getting the points there, it was too good to pass up. Louisville was inside the Syracuse 40-yard line 5 times last week and came away with a grand total of 7 points. If you look at Syracuse, they were inside the 40 5 times against Louisville and came away with 24 points. There's your game.
Is Louisville's kicker trash? What's going on there?
It's weird to watch. Everything that went wrong, or everything that could go wrong, did go wrong for Louisville last week inside the 40. And Malik Cunningham didn't have a great game. But if you go back to a larger sample size than week 1 of the season last year, he graded out exceptionally well. If you look at adjusted completion percentage, it's almost 70%, which shows vast improvement from where he was when he first started out. If you look at his PFF passing grade, it's 83. It's not bad at all. He averages almost 9 yards per attempt, so he's throwing the ball down the field more. Really, and you go back through, his run grade is over 90. So when he scrambles, he's incredibly effective. And he led all FBS quarterbacks with 20 rushing touchdowns last year and over 1,100 yards rushing. So there's a lot of things about him that make him a really good college quarterback, make him extremely difficult. We've seen it. We've watched it up close and personal.
Multiple years of it. Yeah, and even though a lot of the defenders this year have seen Malik Cunningham before, I think it was invaluable to go against Jaden Daniels in week 1, game 2 of the season, just to prepare and get used to the speed again. Because when you go against Jordan Travis in practice, of course he's fast, but he's not live. So it's not the same thing as finishing a play with somebody who is that sturdy. And that was another thing that I was impressed with Daniels, is that he was hard to bring to the ground, not just to catch, but then when you did get your hands on him, he's strong. So it was very good preparation for this upcoming game, plus their prior year's experiences.
The other reason for the Louisville pick, a couple of you asked about that as well, but Plumlee is the quarterback for the Knights. He's the new quarterback, and he came over from Ole Miss. And remember him coming out of high school? A lot of people wanted him, but he's averaging, since going back to 2019, less than 6.2 yards per attempt. His passing grade is terrible. It's 60 or below. That's what I think I read this morning. Not good.
This game is a fact-finding mission about how bad Louisville's defense is.
It is.
Right? I mean,
yeah,
independent of the Malik Cunningham conversation, we believe that the best of him is going to translate at some point, probably next week at home for their home opener against us. But can you just run up and down the field on this defense consistently? Because when Syracuse, you're talking about that, inside the 40 doesn't guarantee you points.
No.
There's a higher likelihood of points.
They cashed it in. There's
24?
No
4 possessions?
Well, no, I mean, it's a phenomenal rate, but it's not sustainable. And
right. Or is it against Louisville's defense?
Louisville's defense is trash. So this is a fact-finding mission. I can lose the bet if we find out Louisville's defense is awful, just objectively awful. Then we've learned something we wanted to learn. I'll lose the bet because of it. No, well, maybe not. It could be a shootout. Listen, UCF last year they were 118th in rushing explosiveness allowed. They gave up big plays all the time on the ground. You have a quarterback that is one of the best at running the football. I just got to believe this marriage seems logical.
Just looked up the total for that game. It's only 61.5. That feels low if both defenses are bad, or Malik Cunningham is good offense and Louisville is bad defense.
Right.
61.5 feels a little bit light there.
So there you go. You're welcome. Go ahead, Tom. Go ahead.
Maybe I found an angle. It's a Friday night game. You always want an angle.
There's the You got to find angles. I was reading an ACC network stat about Virginia. I put this into my show prep today. And I was looking at what Virginia brought back on offense. And it's interesting because Armstrong obviously is the one name that people know on offense for Virginia. And he's lauded in a way that's a little uncomfortable for me. I mean, people talk about him like he's like the best player in the league, and we got to slow our roll. But he got all 3 of his top targets back. They combined for 209 catches and nearly 3,000 yards and 16 touchdowns last year. And their offensive PFF grade receiver with those 3 guys back this year is 80. They're a problem on offense.
Working. So the power ratings are really leaning on PFF early in the season before you've got new data.
Collective units returning. I like to look at TARP, and when you look at those numbers, you can find, all right, who's an experienced team early in the season who's worked together. You know, that you want
they
that.
have, but the philosophy in the offense is different because they've had a coaching change. But you're right.
They're not going to dial that back. They were successful last year on offense. They're not. Nobody's going to come in and be like, let's just undo all that offensive success we had. So that, that's. I want to continue to find I mean, Illinois allowed almost 4.5 yards per play to Wyoming and Indiana in the 2 games combined to start the year, which is impressive. So it could be that they're very good on defense, and that slows everything down. Well, I mean, let's find out. Another fact-finding mission. I was going to say missive, but it's not a missive. It's a mission.
It could be. You never know.
But these early season games, if you're just – there's a lot – one of the things I like about Redemption Thursday and about having fun with numbers and gambling isn't so much because I get that a lot of people will be like, okay, look, man, I don't like to gamble. You don't have to like to gamble to like this show, this particular version of the show where we go hard into the numbers and gambling, because you may just be in a friendly pick 'em pool with your buddies where no money changes hands. It's just pride. It just may be that you want to find certain games that you think are going to be intriguing matchups based on a contrast of styles. Could be a lot of things.
Well, and also as we get better, learning what other teams are is a good thing because, we're vying for either rankings against these teams or if you'll notice as well in these games, there's usually an ACC lean. There's usually more ACC games than you'd find anywhere else in the country because we watch a ton of the ACC.
Right.
So we know what the plays are going to look like.
Yeah, so it's just fun for a lot of reasons. And then the more you learn also about the NFL. Now, the NFL is a tough place to make a living with the numbers. I don't.
Tonight's game is a no touchy.
Well, I'm taking the Bills. So
You're laying the points, taking the Bills?
I took them on the money line to win the game.
Hey, did our super contest happen this year? I haven't seen it. The usual one we do every week?
Oh, thank God.
I'll have to reach
started.
out.
Yeah. And I'm in another one that I forgot I was in. I've got to.
You're welcome.
No, yeah.
I'm here for it.
Yeah. You just reminded me. Damn it. I got to get those picks in. You can spread yourself thin during football season, Tommy. You know how it works. You and I were just in a draft last night that we were like, oh, we were in this? I forgot about that.
That's funny. I thought you were starting a live read when you said you could spread your – it just sounded like the beginning.
No. It was just a reminder.
But that's why you go to Orange Theory Fitness.
It is why you go to Orange Theory Fitness. Good job. You're going to need more energy. You're going to need more life.
This is building a script on the fly, folks. Don't try it.
You're going to need to be clear-headed, sound of mind, and feeling alive. And that's what Orange Theory Fitness provides. Midtown, also North Side. First class, always free. Get a month free if you just buy the watch that keeps the heart rate monitor, as they call it. I call it the watch. Just go ahead and put that puppy on. You get it for a month free.
Breaking news. Keith Richards has outlasted the Queen.
Not a shock.
That was a dead heat for a while. Well, bad pun.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, Keith Richards has had his blood replaced. Keith Richards seems impenetrable by death. I don't know. He's just he's fighting it off.
I think he survived the 1918 Spanish flu in addition to the most current
pandemic. Was before he got addicted to heroin for a good 25-year stretch. But, so the Queen's dead. I don't care about the Queen. But she's dead. That's an announcement. Chef Cameron Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
A student who attends a high school in the Leon County Schools District was detained Wednesday after allegedly making threats of violence on social media. A 15-year-old that attends Lincoln High School was detained and taken to the county's Juvenile Assessment Center. The student is facing making a written threat to conduct a mass shooting offense. The offense is a second-degree felony. The sheriff's office confirmed that there was no active or credible threat to the school. School administrators removed the student from the class and a search of the student's belongings was conducted. No weapons were found. Madison police are still searching for the suspect in a deadly shooting that happened Tuesday morning. The suspect fled Madison and is likely no longer in the area. The victim, 51-year-old Gregory Williams, was pronounced dead at the hospital. Investigators believe the shooting stemmed from an argument between Williams and his nephew over parking in the street in front of Williams's home. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MaclemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Scattered thunderstorms likely this afternoon. Otherwise, cloudy skies expected. Highs level off around 86. Southeasterly winds around 5 miles per hour. Scattered thunderstorms again tonight. Lows dip down to about 71. Cloudy skies. Cloudy skies expected tomorrow. Scattered thunderstorms likely. Highs level off around 82. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 78.
Hi, I'm Dr. Shannon Lord with Chiropractic. We are primary care physicians. and you don't need a referral to come see us. Chiropractors not only help you get to the root cause of your problem, but it helps get rid of neck pain, back pain, and headaches. It makes your body whole and healthy on the inside. So if you or a loved one has neck pain, back pain, or headaches, make an appointment today to get to the root cause of your problem. Come see me, Dr. Shannon Lord, at fennchiro.com, FENNCHIRO.com, because your chiropractor loves you and there's nothing you can do about it.
Well. Hey, Jeff, look at this place.
Yeah. Well, doing well. It's been a while since I've seen you, brother, but, it hasn't been a while since I've been over to Gordo's. I go there on the regular because of you, Eddie.
Well, we keep you regular.
Well, that's true, but I think of Gordo's as a place to sit down, have a cold beer, talk to your friends, enjoy the sports, eat the delicious food. But I think of you as Uncle Eddie, a man who takes care of his people and takes care of the town.
I appreciate that, Jeff. Hey, and we'll keep you regular.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Here's what you missed on the Greg Tish Show.
We need to have history. We need to have literature. It deserves an explanation. We don't need to be promoting lifestyles that come into play for your average elementary school.
Well, I had an experience with this. When my daughter was in school, her teacher gave her a book to read, but then she asked me what the C word is.
That was in the book.
That was in the book.
Okay, so about the C word. So you're talking about conservatives, right?
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3. The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Not a live Sam Cooke that you can find.
I'm telling you, the closest I've ever heard to Sam Cooke was just at a random diner looking bar called the Skylark Lounge in Austin, Texas, 6 years ago.
Dude was killing it, huh?
And he has not ever emerged. And it's just, I don't know why, but you need the break, and he never got it.
Well, you do. And I was in Tempe, Arizona one time and heard a band that should have been huge.
We used their bumper.
Yes, so talented. And I remember thinking, genre-wise, that will never be big, but they nailed 1950s honky-tonk better than anybody I've ever heard, and that guy's voice was perfect. He's probably dead in a ditch somewhere. That's got to be infinitely frustrating to be that good, to have put that much time.
Yeah, the band was called Austin Heat, and that dude was unreal.
Clemson and Dabo have agreed on a $115 million contract. Now, I don't know if anybody's asked Dabo Swinney how he thinks or what he feels about that. I know that on the backs of really good football players, he has now signed a 10-year extension to make $115 million. But it upsets him very deeply that they might make a couple $100 a month in NIL. So I'm not sure if anybody's going to bring that up or if he's offered to share. In particular, the many bonuses he gets for, say, for example, winning the Atlantic, winning the ACC, going to the ACC championship game, making the college football playoff. Those are player-driven awards, right? Those players have to play the game and execute and win those games in order for him to get all of those bonuses. And there are a lot of bonuses in there. But God forbid they get $1,000 in NIL.
Well, I don't know. They're the help at that point. You got to wait until later in their
career. And fair enough. He would point out they are the help.
Did you notice him on Monday calling plays?
No.
Because he was. So it was towards the end of the first half. The offense was terrible. And DJ looked like DJ looked last year. Now, he finished the half on a decent note.
He did.
But Dabo grabbed the Walmart sheet like, Andy Reid has and is screaming into the microphone for, I would say, 8 out of 9 cutaways. And it wasn't idle talk. It was either he was calling the plays outright or he was vetoing what was being called or highly suggesting that something else different was dialed up. I found that very interesting early on in his new offensive coordinator's career, that it's Dabo with the menu and micromanaging offensive play calling.
Good.
Me too.
Good.
I agree.
Good.
I feel the same way.
Good. The more he has to coach, the better. The more he's got to do the job of coaching as opposed to recruiting, the better. Because he's an elite recruiter. There's no getting around that. And for all of the kind of buffoonish behavior that he's exhibited over the years, the absurd, nonsensical babble that he's professed at the microphone many an afternoon, he can really recruit. And he has successfully pulled the wool over the eyes of many simply by espousing Christianity, I guess. I mean, that's kind of what he's done.
Is that he needs
whatever
to.
the flavor of the day is, he usually changes it up.
Urban Meyer 101.
Yeah.
Urban Meyer invoked a dream
in which God told him
that Matt Elam
needed to play at Florida.
Yeah.
And then he called Matt Elam straight-faced and told him that, Matt, you don't really have a choice. Jesus Christ told me you needed to play at the University of Florida.
I mean, literally, people overuse that word, but that's what happened.
That's what he said.
And Dabo said, impressive.
Yeah, I'll use it.
I like this.
Especially on the folks around here. This will work really well. So he does, quote unquote, appreciate the support from the Board of Trustees and the president. I would think that's a lot of money. Good for him. And we'll see how well this goes. If Clemson fires Dabo Swinney without cause, it would owe him $64 million in 2022. Now, he's not going to get fired this year. So what would they owe him in, say, 2023? $60 million. What would they owe him, say, 2 years from now when the plane is on the way to the side of the mountain? 2024, 2025? Either one of those years, Tom? Let's just see how long it takes to unravel. They do have good players, so we'll see. $57 million. And by 2026, also over $50 million. Your agent, who happens to be the agent seemingly of every college football coach, certainly in the South, is a genius. I would, starting today, if I were Dabo Swinney, do whatever I could to be fired. I mean, can you imagine? So everybody thought it was hilarious yesterday.
Speak your mind then, Dabo. Speak your mind.
Please, keep talking. So Ed Orgeron at a booster club type meeting was funny, in which he was told, basically, he gave you a behind-the-scenes look of the end of his time at LSU when it had gone to hell in a handbasket. Culture was blown to bits. He was accused of many things, none of which are scrupulous. But my man was called into the office, and he was told, we owe you $17.5 million, Ed, and we plan on paying you. And he said, show me which door, brother, and how fast do I need to be out of it? On this show over the years, I've documented the many kiss my ass on Main Street moments that coaches are fortunate enough to bathe in, to have the opportunity to be fired with years left on the contract. And you get to, I don't know, live the rest of your life stress-free if you so choose. If at 46 years old, you've had enough success to have one of these contracts come your way, and something does go south and you are to be fired, I have always said it is the moment then that I would engage in my kiss my ass on Main Street moment and take my pants down as I ran out that door in grand celebration of the life I'm about to live on the golf course or the beach or traveling throughout Europe or whatever the hell else I want to do now that I have $20 million to not work, to just go away. But it is dwarfed today by this Clemson deal, in which Dabo Swinney would be given $64 million if things go south starting tomorrow. $60 million each of the next few years if things go south in 2023, 24, 25. And over $50 million if they go south in 2026. Sir, stressing, sir, I have to say, this is a very difficult job. You've ascended the top of the mountain. You've won national championships. You've taken Clemson to a place they had never been before and changed forever their reputation. You deserve credit for that. Some of it is shaky, but you've done it. There's no more things to prove. Your reputation can only go south. It's time.
And farther south.
It's time.
Into the deep south.
I would think if you're him, sir, accidentally forget on a day you're wearing boxers to zip up your pants while on the sideline.
It's always with the pants.
It's the quickest way to get fired. It's the quickest way to get fired.
And then rehired by ESPN immediately for the exact same amount of money.
Oh, well, you could always just ignore your fellow coaches beating the bejesus out of their wives. You'll get a lot of opportunities.
Dabo, Rupert Murdoch. I'm calling this one in. I'm telling the sports department, we can't wait to have you.
You can't wait to get that next job just for ignoring abhorrent, barbarous behavior. It's all around us. There's abhorrent, barbarous behavior almost everywhere. Certainly you can just ignore it blatantly despite myriad emails telling you, documenting of these moments. All you got to do is ignore it. Don't worry, you'll get a job. Just like that. Not only in the booth, but wait a few years after you visit your family a little bit more, you'll get another job on the sidelines of a high-profile gig worth millions and millions of dollars. It's not hard. It's a wonderful, I would say, merry-go-round to exist on. You just can't be, I don't know, guilty perhaps of the abuse yourself. And again,
then it's a maybe.
Then you can visit your grandkids at your bar in Ohio and fondle a 23-year-old on camera.
Which she just wanted to take pictures.
But you can get that. You'll get that job back.
Take
You'll
pictures.
get another job. It's all right. Well, the picture taken and fondling didn't seem while visiting the grandkids while the team flies back.
They came to me at the dinner table.
Just wanted to take pictures.
Just wanted to take pictures.
That's a lot of money. So they have hitched the wagon, and it would be hard not to. I would think if you are Clemson, you really didn't have much of a choice. We'll see if he sees the end of this contract. My guess would be no, but not because of incompetence. He'll stockpile talent. He can recruit.
What this means, though, is that there was a tantrum between last week and this week. A tantrum thrown in his office. Maybe some tears, some Dabo tears. We know how they taste. Very salty. Because Nick Saban was extended last week. And that meant that the Alabama dream is over unless Dabo can call in a hit on Nick Saban, successfully not have it tied back to him, and then he can go to Tuscaloosa and take that job. But there's no way he agrees to this extension if Nick had not agreed to an extension. That is, I'm stuck. Jimmy, you're telling me I'm stuck.
So,
all right. I guess God doesn't love me.
The extent to which coaches go and I don't know, the way that we've been able to successfully kind of watch from afar agents manipulate university presidents, athletic directors really is crazy. In the lifetime of this show, or even going back further to when we were students, like it has gone from a place where I remember the outrage, even over Steve Spurrier's contract, which was $1 million when he became the millionaire coach. People couldn't believe it. And then obviously we just watched everything soar from there.
And it was Will Muschamp.
Well, but I mean,
$1 million coordinator.
Yeah, coordinators. And I remember thinking, man, Mickey Andrews, for the dominance that he has been a part of. Oh, I remember when he was basically on a 1-year deal and then a 2-year deal that kind of rolled over. But I remember when those numbered in the 200,000, 300,000.
He would never have stayed here in this era. The money would have been too great to go take a head coaching gig somewhere else. It would have been too much. Brent finally said no to Clemson. There's your example.
Yeah.
At some point, Mickey would have gone.
You would think. Yeah. There is something to, there are coordinators that I've met, and I'm not saying Mickey's one, but there are coordinators that I've met who have said, I don't want the headache. I don't want to be a head coach. I don't want to deal with that. I know my role. I'm not saying Mickey's that guy.
No, but
I've met coaches like that.
We've heard Brent say that on the record and apparently behind the scenes as well. That no, man, it's just, there's way too much. And then his number was met. He's, well, I mean, if you're going to keep coming back to the table, even if I fail at this thing, I'll go back to being a coordinator and doing what I did, but a whole lot richer for it. So Oklahoma, I'm coming.
Yeah, no doubt that if you are offered $30, $40, $50 million, it's an awfully difficult thing to pass over. And you could know that you're going to hate it and just work your butt off in earnest for a few years and get paid when you're fired. But it is weird, though. These guys all have a ton of pride, and you do want to win. At some point, you've made a ton of money. Dabo's made a lot of money. It's not like his life changes that much with this contract. It's just like Nick. Every time Nick's contract gets renewed and extended and raised, I mean, his life's not changing that much. You reach a place.
Nick has no idea how much money he's made in his
career.
And
I've said this, and I said it about Jimbo Fisher in talking with him over the many years that I interviewed him. And we now know that he's made, $75 million and whatever the new contract was and all of that, right? That there's a guy, I mean, it changed a little bit when with the medical situation for his son. Admittedly, maybe then you would
motivation
be,
does arise.
well, maybe then you would be
monetary motivation.
Yeah, maybe you would be very aware of the numbers because of what may be necessary down the line. But a lot of these guys, it's just a matter of not having to think about that part of their life, and they can really pour them because they're so competitive anyhow. You would never get into this industry as a coach if you wanted balance in your life, because there is none. There's no balance in your life. You have to have an incredibly understanding wife. And then even then, let's say you do. Let's say you have a wife that you met, fell in love with, and over the course of time as your career built up, you were able to say, now, look, you understand during the year, I'm a part-time guy. You know, it's tough to do.
Not even college football season. You can't say that
Not anymore.
With recruiting.
But where it changes, where it gets tough, I would think, and this is where I always think the crisis of confidence would really, or conscience would change, is when you have kids. It's easy to ignore your wife. It's tough to ignore your kids. Hour two.
The company ladder. Often the climb requires a move to another city, and that's especially true in our industry. I'm Jay of Paul's Termite and Pest Control. If you rise the ranks of our competitors, there's a good chance moving up means moving away. Why? Because they're not local companies. They're from places like Orlando, Atlanta, Salt Lake City, and even Europe. That's certainly not the case with our employees. We're a company that was founded in the Big Bend and remains locally owned. When Paul's Termite and Pest Control employees advance, they remain in the Tallahassee area. Don't trust the safety of your family and pets from disease-carrying pests or the structure of your biggest investment from termites to people who may be here today and gone tomorrow. Trust Paul's Termite and Pest Control, a company that has serviced thousands of our neighbors right here for over 50 years. Being local really does matter in our industry because local problems require local solutions. Paul's Termite and Pest Control are the Big Bend's local experts for the elimination of termites or any other pest, and a greener lawn too. Call Paul's. We'll get them all.
Imagine for a moment that you are completely weightless with zero gravity. All of your worries and stress melt away. Your mind stops racing and you fall into a profound state of pure relaxation. This is available to you right now at Tallulah Delta 8 Plus Floating in Railroad Square for just $50. These state-of-the-art floating pods are unlike anything else you've ever experienced, and while you're there, you can shop for some of the latest and greatest CBD and Delta 8 products on the market. Natural pain management, stress relief, and better sleep are all at your fingertips at Tallulah. Tell them Jeff Cameron sent you, and thank me later.
I absolutely love my dog, but the constant shedding, not so much. But then I got a Swiffer Sweeper pet kit, and it is amazing. These super thick cloths pick up a crazy amount of hair. Just look at all that. And that was from just one swipe. And the best part, Sweeper's so much easier to maneuver than a broom or a vacuum, easily getting around chairs and under the couch. You're right. Now I can focus on you, not your shedding. Swiffer Sweeper Pet Kit. Because shed happens.
Everyone, who's manning the front tonight?
Big E's nightclub needs a bouncer with a military background.
Dougie, I need you to keep eyes on the back.
Security who lays down the no-no when the uns get too intense.
That Swedish DJ duo is back tonight. Y'all remember last time.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas Wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT. Right in Tallahassee.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. Buckingham Palace says Queen Elizabeth, Britain's longest reigning monarch, has died. She was 96. Elizabeth spent more than 7 decades on the throne. Elizabeth had increasingly handed over duties to Charles, her son, and other members of the royal family in recent months as she recovered from a bout of COVID-19, began using a cane, and struggled to get around. With the death of the Queen, her son Charles automatically becomes monarch, even though the coronation might not take place for months. It's not known whether he will choose to call himself King Charles III or some other name. A Republican senator blaming Democrats for the rising crime rate.
Senator Tom Cotton says he's saddened by the recent high-profile crimes in Memphis, but says,
unfortunately, it's not all that unusual.
And Senator Cotton says he knows who to blame.
This is the natural result of the Democratic Party's policies.
Policies like defunding the police and seeking light sentences for criminals. The solution?
To give them sentences that are certain and swift and long, and is going to deter criminals from taking those actions.
Senator Tom Cotton was interviewed by the Salem Radio Network. Bob Agnew reporting.
Also at townhall.com, a new poll shows that more voters see the midterms as a referendum on President Biden. Correspondent Bernie Bennett has details.
By a 6-point margin, voters view the upcoming midterm elections as being more about President Joe Biden than individual candidates and issues, and half say a Republican win means Biden should change course. The latest Rasmussen Reports national telephone and online survey finds that 46% of elected voters say the midterm election is a referendum on Biden's agenda. 40% think it's more about individual candidates and issues, but another 14% are undecided. Bernie Bennett reporting.
And on Wall Street, the Dow had 108 points. The NASDAQ is up 11. More at townhall.com.
Charlie Dombeck here from Key City Capital. As a practicing CPA for nearly 30 years, I have found that 80% of your ability to grow your wealth is dependent upon two factors: taxes and investment performance. At Key City Capital, we improve investment performance by diversifying capital into off-market investment opportunities in passive rental real estate and alternatives like asset-backed lending. We recover dollars that clients unnecessarily pay in the form of income taxes, creating a lifetime annuity of savings. We are a sponsor of passive, affordable single and multifamily residential rental investments, which are located in Sunbelt landlord-friendly states. These investments are the top choices in a rising interest rate and inflationary environment. They represent a store of value, protecting your capital from market volatility. Learn how we at Key City Capital can help you ultimately grow your wealth rapidly. Connect with me at keycitycapital.com or give me a call at 817-912-1569.
Let's take a minute to imagine all the things you can accomplish with help from Southeast Portable Buildings. Are you a hoarder? Hoard some more. Get a storage shed. Mother-in-law moving in with you? Put her in a shed out back. I'm kidding. Still working on that engine that you're going to finish from last summer? Move it out to a new workspace with Southeast Portable Buildings. From she sheds and man caves to repair shops and trophy rooms, the possibilities are only limited to your imagination. Visit Southeast Portable Buildings today.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2,
we predicted that Florida State would have a good practice today, regardless if they did. Really wouldn't have mattered if they did or didn't. He was going to tell you that they did, but I'm told, and I was not there, I want you to know that. I was not at today's practice. Told it was a good one. It was a spirited practice. Again, I think that mind games are played by coaches all the time. Most notably, after practices, messages are sent. Sometimes they're spot on and reflective of that practice. Other times they're not. They're based on other motivators. So yesterday, when he went in on the team and said that they need to handle success better and they didn't have a good practice and he was not happy with the effort or the energy or the focus, I wasn't surprised by that. It's a bye week. I thought both things could be true, that he was trying to send a message about how you prepare even after a big win and how you stay locked in and focused, that you haven't really accomplished anything yet. I also think guys are inclined when playing a game as late as Sunday night's game was, and then knowing that you don't have a game this Saturday at all and you're beat up and bruised, human nature not to be as locked in, not to be as energized, not to be as focused. So it lent itself to him challenging them. And I think that's not anything to be surprised by or alarmed by, more importantly. I also don't think it's surprising that they came back today and had a much better practice. I think that's probably true. Again, I wasn't there. I'm sure it was a better practice today than yesterday. I also think the coach was inclined to say it was better and was going to, regardless if it was a marginally decent practice or not.
Spent a lot of time around the offensive line today, as is a thing I like to do. And the mental reps they were taking, they were doing some scout stuff that we can't talk about, but it was a combination of mental reps and then also some physical drills where Alex Atkins is going through, and this is one of my favorite things to watch. He's just going through every possible situation and, multiple defensive front that you could see. And it's a good time to teach that lesson because of what LSU brought to the table. They lined up in so many different ways that he went back and he's working with them in pods of 2 and 3 and instructing them how he wants things to go. But a neat thing that I saw, and the next time we get to talk to him, I'll ask about it. But Bishop Thomas was working as the scout team defensive lineman, among other guys. But Alex would pull him aside in certain moments, Bishop Thomas, that is, to tell him how he needs to diagram, or what would the word be? He needs to act as though he's the opposition, right? So he needs to take the place and do exactly as they would do, not as he would do.
Scouting.
Well, you're a scout player, yeah. Whatever it is, like you're. It's almost like you're playing a dress up in a football sense.
Sure.
Because Bishop himself is a good player, and maybe he might do something differently and see something differently because of his instincts. But Alex would say, look, this is what they're going to do. So make sure that you're in this position. But it's cool to see offensive coaches take defensive players aside and help them move along and develop as players. So then later down the line, Bishop Thomas is now a smarter defensive lineman because you're working with a smart offensive line coach. You learn the opposite of what people are trying to do to you versus what you're trying to do to them. So I enjoyed watching those parts of practice today.
So I'm excited, really excited to watch this team play again. And I can't say that enough because I think they're going to build on a lot of the principles and things that we witnessed on Sunday night. I think that they've got a ton more that they can accomplish, that they can add to, because you have a quarterback who gets it right now and was able to execute it in a high-profile game on a big stage against really good athletes. And I would think that that's going to continue to open this playbook to things we haven't seen, which is very exciting. Already, it took a step forward. They ran things we didn't run at all last year. So that's why when I talk about getting excited about where the team is, it's not to suggest that they're going to breeze through this schedule and suddenly I've got a dramatically different outlook on the season. There is an uptick in confidence and enthusiasm towards the 8-win mark than there was before. Obviously, I thought if you were going to get to 8 wins, if you were going to flirt with 9 wins, certainly you were going to have to beat LSU. And, you find a way. It's dramatic, but you saw a lot of good things, but you saw plenty of things to clean up. So we can't take the field fast enough. I will be excited once we get into a normal routine and start playing the games on Saturdays the way they're meant to be played.
Yeah, agreed.
And start being able to kind of set up schedule-wise. It's appointment television every Saturday. Right now, we haven't had any of that. You've had a weird week 0 game. Then you have a game that's on a Sunday night in New Orleans. And now you got a Friday night game after a bye week. So just everything is disjointed. It's very almost unsettling to one's schedule, if you will. And I don't mean personally. I just think it's
for
just
coaches.
different. Yeah, for coaches.
They hate it. Non-routine.
Yeah. So I'm excited once we get into the norm and what we'll see from there. But either way, practice between that time and this time will be well documented. And really all I want to continue to read about and hear about, because the coach is going to tell you whether they practiced well or not. I'm not going to be alarmed by either. I guess if we had 5 straight days of poor practice, I might be alarmed. But I doubt that's going to happen. So the point would be whether we look great in practice or look average to subpar, none of that. My head has moved forward now. It is game time. It'll be time to lock in on install. And what are you going to do to offset this? What are you going to do to expose that? Whatever it might be, I'm anxious to see that now because the team is very likable, very invested, and I think certainly a team that is far more confident than they were a year ago already. Last year at this time, we were lamenting that the season was already over. This year, the vast difference is that Florida State is in a position to dream of what could be, to allow your wildest fantasies about what this season might look like. They're still on the table. At the beginning of every baseball season, spring training is joyous to attend because everybody believes, even if their payroll is $30 million, like my sorry-ass Pirates, that with the right bounces, if you're lucky in one-run games, if that young pitcher who was bad last year takes a step forward this year, if the trade worked out in the offseason, you might win 86 games and sneak in as a wild card. Everybody believes it. Then reality hits you, and you're 50 games into the season, and you're, 20-30. It's going to be a long year. Florida State's been in that position forever. Now we're the team that, hey, I think it could work out. We could be okay. Might be all right. And we're 2-0. Look, see, it's working out just like I thought it might. So you get excited. And that's now I'm just, foot's just a tapping. Let's go.
I like to see that what translated to the game continues to translate into practice. And that's where the coaching staff is 100% right. It's okay. Are you satisfied going this far? Because there's a lot of stuff that we need to clean up. Or do you want to see how deep this rabbit hole goes in terms of, in a good way? How high can this thing climb? And not to use their terminology, but today in the open portion that we can discuss, they had a drill where there's a $1:02 on the clock, 1 timeout, you're down by 5. Can you go 80+ yards and score? They did. And they did. And it was because the defense wasn't in good positions. It's just the quarterback made good plays. And that's fun to watch, to see, all right, this is not a fluke. This is becoming the norm. Because if that kind of performance happened, when I'm talking about the drill today, if we saw that in August, we'd say, oh, I didn't know he had that in him. And now you're just saying that's the new normal. So let's keep on setting a new normal for the rest of this season. Because if we do, then it gets really nerve-wracking in October. You'll feel nerves that you forgot existed. Been 5-6 years since you felt it.
I want to be nervous, buddy. I want to be nervous. Let's get to the wagers of the day. Mentioned it to start the show. We'll go back at them. They're posted now if you're watching the feed on Warchant TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Another reminder, too, Tom, I should probably harp on this. Hat that hasn't been pulled yet. Still $1. It's still just $1 for you to sign up to warchant.com on 3. $1 for 1 year, calling all FSU fans. Make it happen. Had a nice note in my email inbox. Somebody said, I was hesitant. I don't belong to any site, but you guys make me laugh. I listen to the show. It's also informative. It's $1. I did it yesterday. There you go, sir. There you go. Come on, man. It's $1. I might argue that if you hated every single one of us on the site, every one of us, to a man, you should still pay the $1. You might luck into something entertaining.
And we're going to be right about a lot of things, whether you hate us or not. So
that's correct. All right, wagers abound. Let's get to them. Our thanks to Metro Deli always. I don't see why not. Much to the ire of apparently people in the chat, they don't like my Louisville pick. That's fine. Bring it on, bitches. I'll take Louisville +6 against UCF. There's an inordinate amount of UCF fans that listen to the Jeff Cameron Show. I don't know where that comes from. I mean, I know we're in close proximity, I suppose.
We do great in the Orlando market.
We do. We kill in the Orlando market. I've never understood because I don't like Orlando. But thanks for listening. I'll take Louisville +6 to beat UCF and bounce back after looking atrocious against Syracuse. There were numbers that I cited in the first hour, but for the interest of time, let's get through these. I got Army +2.5 against UTSA, Michigan State -34.5 against Akron, That's going to be a good cover, Tom. That's going to be a meaty cover.
I like that cover.
That cover's going to be 58-7. I'll take Virginia against the Fighting Fatties of Champaign. Virginia plus 4.5 against Illinois. I like Iowa, who didn't like the end zone last week. I like them this week because Iowa State never beats Iowa.
Well, they did like the end zone. The defense did twice.
Not Iowa. Oh, safeties.
Safeties.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'd like them to actually score a touchdown this week. That'd be good. Probably go a long way in covering that 3.5 if they could do it against Iowa State. I'll take Tulsa -6 against Northern Illinois. Is that the one that raised the biggest eyebrow with you where you went, well, that's on the card? Or was it Army Tulsa?
You have a lot of Army picks anyway.
Army UTSA.
Yeah, you have a lot of Army picks anyway, so I would go with this one.
Thought Tulsa was alarming.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State -11 against Arizona State. Alabama -20 against Texas. I think the Vikings have a chance to be a surprise team in the NFL this year. I took them getting 1.5 against the Packers. They're hosting that game. And then finally, the Saints -5.5 against the Falcons. On the road, I don't know. It is the NFL. It is the NFC South. But I think Jameis is going to have a pretty good year, and I'll lay the 5.5 of those. I had to get 2 NFL picks.
Yeah, there are going to be a lot of Saints fans there in Atlanta, too.
Yeah.
The Falcons aren't exactly signing up for the season ticket package.
It's going to be a long year, my man, in Atlanta. This is a toughie. Our buddy TPE's favorite quarterback started for them, right? Mariota.
Oh, is that his guy?
Well, for years he
Okay.
was sure that guy was going to be something other than the sorry ass that he is, and has been for a very long time. But I just couldn't remember. I think he is starting in Atlanta.
Is this the first time that Jameis and Mariota have locked horns since the first game of their careers?
Jameis was the pick 6.
First and last pass attempt as a Buccaneer was a pick 6.
Yeah. Well, the first one you could have called. I mean, I'm yelling at the TV. Don't do that.
The last one was deflected, but who cares?
Go Saints. I can't even say
you
that
can't
out
do
loud.
that.
I couldn't.
You
do
want
it.
Mariota to throw for 4 bills on Sunday. That's what you want. Then people can fall into the same trap.
I want to get a handle early in the season on the National Football League. It's been a while since you really grasped with any degree of certainty, betting certainty, since we're talking Redemption Thursday, where you know how in college, granted there's a lot more teams, but in college, probably by week 3, now you can be butt sorry for the first 2 weeks with gambling picks in college. Listen, Vegas struggles the first 2 weeks. A lot of people do. The truth is, you can look at all the returning starters or the loss of returning starts. You can look at any number of factors about what a team is or is not. And that's an educated guess. You should do that. You should go through that process and project for yourself what you think a team is or is not. There are always 3 or 4 games that are 50-50 games. You got to decide who you think is going to win those games and bet win totals and all the stuff that you do in the offseason. But the reality is, until the season begins, you don't really have a grasp on what they are as a collective, because some teams don't like their coach. That relationship could have gone south in game 8 of last year. You wouldn't know that unless you're on the ground covering that team. You can't know that. Others may have bought in after a dreadful start, see FSU. If we always think about why it is that there are national talking points about FSU that don't make a lot of sense to us here locally covering the team, because they're not here. They don't know. At 0-4, the thought was, this guy ain't going to make it. It's not going to work out. They're years away from being any good at all. I don't know what Mike can do to save his job. These are the national talking points, right? But you and I were here covering this team, and we did see the second half of the Louisville game and then what happened subsequently. And we did watch a team fight, settle down, figure out their roles, win 5 of their last 8 games, seemingly be on the verge of taking a step forward with the influx of transfer portal players in the offensive line, giving them some, I think stability at the very least, right? We watched Jordan Travis get better. How much better? We weren't certain. We wanted to see. He passed the first test with flying colors. So I know these first 2 weeks are hard on all of us. But the NFL, it's been ages since I could find, 3 weeks into a season, a firm grasp on 5 teams.
Well, I think the longer the season goes, the more volatile the week-to-week results are. So now that you've got a 17-game, 18-week season, before there was already a week or two where a team would just, they'll take the day off. And if they win, they win. If they don't, they don't. But it's about the grander war, not the battle today. And you can very much see that in the result where, sure, Green Bay might beat the Falcons at 24-20 when Atlanta's down, or the Bucks when the Bucks are down. But that's an easy cover for the Bucks or the Falcons players that day. Meaning the bettors. That's an easy cover for those guys on that day.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you explain? They're not only 4 points better. If they cared about that game, if you caught them on the right part of the schedule, if they weren't coming off of a West Coast trip, things like that are human things, then sure, they'd cover. The favorites would always cover by a decent number. But college kids are at the whims of their emotions. The pros are at the whims of the bumps and bruises and the grander picture. And that's where you've got to play in between the lines a little bit and say, is this game really critical
to them?
To Aaron Rodgers? Like anytime he plays in Florida, he clearly hates playing in the state. Look at his track record of not only betting production, but look at his passing production. It sucks.
It sucks. It's terrible. It's interesting, too, because he wanted to go to Florida State. It's fascinating. Carol, to your point, I actually think pro football is more unpredictable than college football. But I also love both. So either way,
because if you're just a little bit off,
you lose.
Yeah, the floor is so high in that league across the board.
Well, everybody was their best player in college. In college, everybody that's out there was their best player in high school. And you go further and further along, that siphons, and you still get the preternaturally gifted athletes when you get to the NFL. You have an off day. You could be a world better collective as a team. You have an off day against those guys. They're all 4-4 guys. They're all monsters.
If you're a team on the East Coast, you had to go out to San Francisco, and then you've got a game on a Thursday night on a short week. I mean, they're going to pick one. They're going to pick one of those games to go after, and you just got to be on the right side of that one game because the other one is, we either weren't going to win this game anyway or that team's not good enough. So we're going to spend all of our time and resources on one of these two. If we win both, great. That's a bonus.
Yeah, we got to win this one, right? Wagers are there. Have at them. Keep your score. Thanks, Chip. Thanks, Mario. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
When you need a plumber quick, how long is an acceptable time to have to wait?
Hey, it's the Millers again. Just calling you about our little plumbing problem.
2 hours?
Hey, we were hoping you can get here soon because the water is getting really bad. Please hurry.
4 hours?
I know you said you were on your way, but, honey, tell the kids to drink water.
8 hours?
Don't worry about us.
At M&L Plumbing, you'll never have to wait long for quality, dependable service right when you need it. At M&L Plumbing, we listen to our customers, and our qualified technicians aim to achieve 100% customer satisfaction. So the next time you need plumbing work or repairs, think of the name M&L Plumbing, your local plumbing experts, commercial or residential. Give us a call, 850-575-9393, or visit us online at mandlplumbing.com. M&L Plumbing, for all of your plumbing needs.
Football at El Jalisco, football at El Jalisco, what a combination. It's a great big celebration. It's football at El Jalisco. I can dig it. Who's playing? Oh, man, everybody. The ACC, the SEC, all the C's, and even the pros. The Bucks, the Steelers, the Giants, the Cowboys. Wow, far out. You bet, man. When the game is on, it's on at El Jalisco with incredible specials on everything from frosty cervezas to salty margaritas. Does Margarita know? Dios mío, not again. The best place to watch the game is El Jalisco. College, pros, Monday night, Thursday night, you name it, El Jalisco is football headquarters. And with 5 Tallahassee area locations, there's probably an El Jalisco right around the corner right now.
So let's say you're considering buying a new home in the current climate. All heard that demand is high, inventory is low. So how do you get a leg up on the rest of the buyers all making offers on the same house as you? Oh, that's a toughie. But the first place I'd suggest you start is with a call to my friend Shannon at Legendary Home Loans. Shannon will set you up with a complete pre-approval underwriting. It used to be an upgrade, but nowadays it's got to be standard. You want to get your offer on a new home pushed to the front of the line, you need a TBD full underwriting approval from Legendary Home Loans. You'll shorten or even remove your financing contingency, and the sellers will know that your offer is real. and ready to go. It's tough out there these days, folks, so why not have the advantage of a proven winning team in your huddle? Get pre-approval underwriting from my friend Shannon with the one and only legendary home loans. Call now, 844-FSU-LOAN, 844-FSU-LOAN, or just visit FSUHomeLoans.com. FSUHomeLoans.com.
Equal housing lender. NMLS number 2270146.
Hey, Nole fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future. We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
To the queen who's dead. And I appreciate that. I did have 6 going the other night. Aaron, I'm a candle kind of guy, Tom. You know how as you become more secure with who you are, you don't fret over perception.
Absolutely.
So if something's sad, you'll cry. If there's something that hits you a certain way, you're not afraid to show your feminine side, whatever it might be, right? When it comes to candles, I don't run and hide. I'm a candle guy. I got candles all over my house.
I mean, you should see me when I strut when I make a birdie.
That's right.
Look like Mick Jagger.
Like a peacock. Yeah, I get home. My wife I'm the one buying candles. She's like, more candles? I'm like, oh, yeah, more candles.
So, okay. That's a low-key good gift for you, huh? It's just a
buddy, get
gift
me a
card
candle.
to the candle shop.
I also like flowers.
Oh, all right. Good for you.
I do. I like flowers. I like candles and flowers, guys. I'm not afraid to admit it.
What in the hell is this?
Candles smell nice. Who the hell dislikes a good smelling candle? Years ago, and I should have all the ideas that we've had on the Jeff Cameron Show over the years. And it makes me mad that I didn't patent it. I was the one who 23 years ago on the air in the morning said, one of these days they're going to create freshly shorn grass, freshly mowed grass as a candle.
Here's a weird one.
They did. They made it.
I took a straw poll on this because somebody mentioned it. When it first starts to rain and you're in, I don't know, somewhere that has a parking lot or asphalt, there's a certain smell that comes up. And somebody said, I love that smell.
What?
I said, right.
The smell of asphalt and steam?
The rain on it. Yeah.
No,
it has a scent to it.
That has a scent of it's about to be hotter than Hades out here.
Right. I've asked family members and friends. I said, they were split. Some people were like, no. And some said, yeah, it's a good smell. I didn't even know that was considered to be potentially one of the good smells.
It's not a good smell at all. They're wrong. A great smell is that of a freshly mowed grass. There is no doubt. That is maybe the best of smells.
That's why baseball whoops butt. Because
walking out there, man.
You get the cleats on the little gravel,
and
then you get the smell. The combination of those two things is unbelievable for the senses.
I got weird stuff going on here. People are making announcements every which way to Sunday.
Rule Britannia, man. You're done.
Hey, let's do this. Let's you and I have some fun with the prize picks, because coming up after prize picks, after we take a brief respite to hear from our sponsors, as they say, Tom. We will solve for the future with ISF. I am excited about the prize picks this week. I'm always excited to entertain regarding prize picks. And here you're going to see. Now, look, you get a 100% deposit match. You got to use the promo code WARCHANT. Guys, do this. Do it.
Yeah, 20-some of you did last week, so good job.
Get on it. Let's go. Let's go. And I joke about how much money prize picks should be paying me, and they should. But if you join today, I don't stand to really make much money at all. So it's not really just about me. But it doesn't hurt if you sign up for prize picks. You're going to love it. They do 100% match your deposit if you use the promo code WARCHANT, and you should. And there are so many combinations across all sports you'll find, and you can do it. Like when hockey comes around, you can pick a goals against below 2.5 and marry it with an NBA game total or an individual assist total. It's crazy. It's the best. And really, if you take the time to do it and base it on the numbers, the analytics, you'll win more than you lose. You're not going to win them all.
No.
And I'm never going to tell you that. And I'm never going to tell you, listen, be sensible, guys. I assume the vast majority of my listeners are very intelligent. But for the small percentage that are dumb as a post, don't bet money you don't have. All right, there I said it. Now let's get to, you ready? Post those picks.
Which ones? Yours or mine?
All right, well, now we shared one that Tom and I feel very strongly about. Start with that one.
Well, it's because it's part of a promo that PrizePicks has. So they give you a free one. They give you a free one leg of a win, which is Tom Brady's going to throw for over a yard.
Yeah.
So short of him blowing his Achilles in warm-ups, this is going to be okay. You're going to have Tom Brady pass for more than 1 yard.
So all you got to do is marry it to one other that you like, and you win. You win. That's it. So they're like trying to get you to give away money. So Tom here, for the purposes of this exercise, bet $20 on the power play. And if Tom Brady throws for more than half a yard, and he will, and Jameis Winston throws for more than 230.5 yards, then you win $60 on your $20 bet.
There it is.
Bam.
That's simple. So
now we're cooking with gas.
Look, if $5 is good enough for you, you're coming on with 15. It's just whatever it is that makes you interested in the game.
Yeah. So there's that. Now I decided, because I agree with Tom's pick there, and we did not share notes.
No, Director Matthew told me that he played the same thing.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I called him and I said, look at this. But here you go. I took Montrell Johnson to run for more than 62.5 yards against Kentucky. Now it's going to be close. It's going to be close. I don't think Phil Jerkovich is going to run for more than 20.5 yards. So I went less.
Considering that sack yardage removes from your total in college football too, that's always something to be apprised of. Don't bet quarterback rushing yards without knowing that sack yardage comes off your rushing total in college. Does not happen in the pros, but it's how they tabulate in college. It's dumb, but it will cost you if you're not careful.
So there it is. There it is. It's all gone. There are the picks. Make it happen. You don't have to emulate ours. Do your own thing.
No. You can navigate around the site, take a look, see if you find some numbers. But I would use the Brady play this weekend. They're just asking you to. And it's not for first-time members or anything. It's if you're a member already and you signed up, it's there. It's waiting on you.
It's so fun. Maybe the reason that that PrizePicks likes dealing with us is because we use it and have fun with it.
Oh,
and
I love
enjoy
over-unders. Who doesn't love a good over-under?
Good God, man. Who doesn't? I would do over-unders just driving around.
Well, and the other thing is, if they said you got to string two over-unders together and it's only doubling your money, you'd say, I don't know.
Remember back in the
I don't
day?
like those odds.
Yeah, you remember back in the day, Tom, when these sites kind of started popping up, a lot of different ways to have some fun. And they would say, well, you join now, you can bet online. In fact, Bet Online was an actual site, whatever. You had to win like 70% of your original investment to ever get the money back out. You had to do all these.
You went through that.
Yeah, jumping through hoops. Like what?
Not you. Somebody I know went through that.
Yeah, maybe. So it's like, wait a minute. I deposited 170. I got to win 750 in order to get any of it back. This is the dumbest thing.
Not PrizePicks.
Yeah. Oh no. I'm steady pulling out money in PrizePicks. They're tired of me. Hey, PrizePicks. I need $1,000. Send it my way. Come on. You owe it to me. I'm going to leave this much in there. We'll have fun with it. They're like, damn it. Cameron in Tallahassee's killing us again. And we sponsor him. That's all for the future next. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
A woman, Julie Hoover, 39, who was a teacher at a private Christian school during the previous school year, was arrested for a second time on Tuesday after previously being accused of sexting with a student. Hoover was charged due to what a student told investigators occurred at Point of Grace Christian School's prom on April 8th. According to the student, Hoover pressured him to drink an alcoholic beverage and place a straw from the beverage in his mouth. The student also stated Hoover came over to where he danced and began twerking on him, which made him feel uncomfortable. There were reportedly others that witnessed her behavior. Back in June, Hoover was arrested for sexting with an 18-year-old student at the school. Elder Care Services is gearing up for its 24th annual Oktoberfest fundraiser, October 9th at Cascades Park, and it gives the community the chance to experience the German Fest. Tickets range from $25 to $100. All proceeds go to funding different programs that Elder Care Services offer. For more info, go to eldercarebigbend.org/Oktoberfest. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Scattered thunderstorms likely this afternoon, otherwise cloudy skies expected. Highs level off around 86, southeasterly winds around 5 miles per hour. Scattered thunderstorms again tonight, lows dip down to about 71, cloudy skies. Cloudy skies expected tomorrow. Scattered thunderstorms likely, highs level off around 82. This report is brought to you by The Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 81.
Physical stress on our bodies can take its toll as the years go by. Whether you're looking to get back into an old sport or just want to spend more time outdoors to explore all life has to offer in our beautiful city, the dedicated team at TOC is here for you every step of the way. You can trust TOC for all your orthopedic needs. And now, scheduling an appointment has never been easier. Just visit teamtoc.com and click schedule online. That's teamtoc.com.
Well. Hey, Jeff, look at this place.
Yeah. Well, doing well. It's been a while since I've seen you, brother, but, it hasn't been a while since I've been over to Gordo's. I go there on the regular because of you, Eddie.
Well, we keep you regular.
Well, that's true, but I think of Gordo's as a place to sit down, have a cold beer, talk to your friends, enjoy the sports, eat the delicious food. But I think of you as Uncle Eddie, a man who takes care of his people and takes care of the town.
I appreciate that, Jeff. Hey, and we'll keep you regular.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Here's what you missed on the Greg Tish Show.
There's a TikTok that's going viral because of a butter softening method. They are putting the Vermont Creamery butter in the waistband of her pants. Give it 5 minutes. You can go and measure out your ingredients, and then your butter is ready to go. You cannot do this in Florida.
No.
Because your pants will be full of butter in 2 minutes. Somebody try it. Post on TikTok.
Unless it says juicy across the back.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3. The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Three, 4-3. There's a push. 5-3. 5-4-1 last week.
It's not bad. I was surprised that you did not pick either side of the Tennessee Pitt game, given that we watched extensively Pitt football last week, and that number is 6 or 6.5 to the road team.
Pitt pissed me off last week. I was tired of watching them struggle throughout that game.
Yeah, they outplayed West Virginia, but a lot of flukish things happened, and
They
then
had
they
to
kind
get
of
lucky at the end to
and
win.
they turtled a little bit. Yeah,
They did. And I saw it.
that was a wacky ass game.
You and I were in Biloxi watching that.
Somebody, oh man, somebody fell into me.
That was one of my favorite moments of the entire trip. I could solve for the future real quick for that lady. Stop drinking all day. We were at the Beau Rivage on Thursday, Tom and I, gambling, and we were watching this game, the West Virginia Pitt game. Well, actually, we were watching the Penn State Purdue game
both
at that time.
Yep.
And we switched spots, and we went up to the bar, and we were playing. He was playing a video poker type game or whatever you were playing there.
Yeah, just throwing a couple bucks in there.
No, who cares? You don't have to be ashamed. I'm
not
I'm
ashamed.
trying to set
No,
the
I don't
scene.
know how to play those games.
Yeah, so we were trying to play that game, and all of a sudden, it was awesome. Woman goes about 275, sizable woman, and she just slams into this is why it's relevant, slams into the back of Tom's chair, sending him lurching forward.
Right.
And I cracked up because I could see, like, I didn't have enough time to warn you. I happened to turn to my left and just saw the stumbling. Oh,
it was jarring because I'm just, sipping on a beer watching the game.
Yeah.
And bam. And I thought our mutual friend Eddie was there because he was on his way to a soccer tournament.
Yes, he was.
And I thought he went upstairs to go change. He had done a workout. So I thought he came back and just shoved the chair to say hi because he'd do something like that.
Yeah, and he's a big, strong guy.
He
so
used to at
he's like,
Northside Gordon. Oh, yeah. If he gets your hand. Yeah, right. Hand strength. So I turned around and say, "What's up, man?" And nobody's there.
And I buckled over laughing because
Yes.
I just watched this woman fall into your chair, causing you to lurch forward, and her looking dazed and confused as she lands on the ground. And then I can see out of the corner of my eye the bartender looking aghast, like, "Good God!"
Right.
And all of
The
this
reason
is
it's
amusing
funny
to me.
is
Well,
because
she's fine.
Yeah, right.
That's why it's funny. Of course, I'm not an evil person. It's hilarious to watch people fall, especially when they're dumbasses who do it to themselves. And so what was great was the bartender says, she doesn't usually do that. That made my night. I loved it. She doesn't usually do that. So this other lady came over, and this other person, we tried to help her out. We
I
did the best
eventually did. I got her
best
up.
we could.
But
Well,
I was hovering over her thinking, all right, is this a heart attack? What is this?
No. Oh, God, I wouldn't have been laughing if that was it. Yeah.
Of course. But
Yeah.
that's why I'm giving the spoiler ahead of
Yeah.
time. The other lady that was hovering over her, I thought it was family, a family member. And so she's talking to her, and I'm thinking, all right, well, let's not. Sometimes getting somebody up off the ground is the worst thing you can do. And then she tilts her head up and he goes, "What are you waiting for? Get her up." I'm saying, "Ma'am, I don't know the nature of this emergency, first of all." So, and I thought you were her.
She could have had a broken left ankle.
Right.
I can't just yank her up. Also, she's big.
If she's having a seizure, I don't think the best thing to do is just get her up off the floor. So let's assess the situation, ma'am. Goodness gracious.
I loved it. What a great moment. She was fine. Security had to take her, escort her out.
Yep.
I'm sure she was back the next day.
"Ma'am, do you know where you are?" That was the screening question. And then she was, well, actually, she sat in my chair for about a good 2 minutes, 3 minutes. That was okay.
Yeah. I just kind of looked at her and thought, well, this is interesting. I don't know what else to tell you. You've had a long day, ma'am. Yeah, that guy was like, oh.
And then Penn State covered.
They did. No thanks to that bum of a quarterback. Well,
that was a ride, that game.
It always is with him. Always is. All right, what do you want to parlay? And now ISF's our partner of Solving the Future, and lately what we've done, and I think it really is a greater representative of who they are in the real world in terms of giving direction and helping people with as a collaborative effort. And we've been doing that. They do it with technology, and they help out state governments with that and all that. But we do it here on the show, representative of the way that they work with their partners. And they have your vision in mind, expertise. They marry those things. You guys can make things happen because of it. But what do you think, Tom? We've solved a lot of futures here the last 3 weeks on the show doing it this way. I've enjoyed it.
I've got what I think is a good one. Now you can shoot it down.
Okay.
Obviously. But you can't name Jordan Travis or Jared Verse. You can't pick those two guys.
Mm-hmm.
Who were you most impressed by in the LSU win? If not those two players. Well, you can't pick those two and Pokey Wilson. There you go.
Oh, you just take away the three
yes,
stars
because,
of the game.
Because who else in the flow of the game? Man, that guy's better. Or I like what that kid brings to the table. Whatever it is. So beyond the obvious stars of the game, who impressed you as you watched Florida State beat LSU?
Well, it's a fair pick. Since you're saying I can't say Pokey, I can't say Jared Verse, and I cannot say Jordan Travis. Well, the rewatch revealed to me that Fabian Levitt was dominant.
Okay. Yeah.
The rewatch showed me that he was dominant in that game. They had nothing for him. There were times he manhandled the interior of LSU's offensive line.
There is a 3rd and short where he gets blown off the ball. Same series. This is first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
He comes back, and even though it's a combo block double team on Fabian, He throws the lineman back into the running back and blows it up.
Yes. What I wanted to see, and I'll read you guys. Thanks for keep it going, guys. I want to see in the chat. This has been fun. We've been doing this together. There's a good answer right there.
Mitchell's got my answer.
Yeah, Deloach is a good answer. Well, you know what's nice? There are a lot of good answers to this. The fact that you took away the 3 stars of the game, and we still have, I think, 4 or 5 guys that you could rightfully pick, maybe more, because somebody else just put out here Wyatt Rector, and you know what?
Yeah.
Have yourself a game, young man.
Absolutely.
Have yourself a game. Good for you. That's not a bad pick at all. I figured a lot of people might say Deloach, who was at times shot out of a cannon. Tatum Bethune was good in this game. He went away from.
I thought
he was too in this game. You know, you could certainly argue that given what they've been the last 5 years, that it is fair to just say the offensive line. Somebody did. You know, you could go through all that and say it. Brian Kelly. Oh, man. Family.
Really impressive out of Maury Smith. You know, when the coaching staff reveals too, which we knew they didn't like his chances. They thought Louisville was the target date. Mike actually copped to that yesterday and said, "Best up." We thought Louisville. He made it back, and he wasn't bad, and he didn't have to come out of the game. I fully expected.
He looked like he was about to have to come out of the game.
He's going to have to come out of the game, but to gut it out and make some good plays now, that was impressive. He also made a lot of checks. They had a little play where it was a design quarterback run. Did we talk about this yet? It was first quarter where they call out a slide protection to the left.
Yes.
Maurice does. And Robert Scott says, got it, slide left. And then they do get into pass pro and slide, but it's a design quarterback run. It's all part of the subterfuge.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
I love when, you got the window dressing and guys falling for it. And Mike Norvell gets credit for that. And somebody just posted that there. Mario says Mike Norvell's play calling. He was great. And it's funny because a lot of that gets overlooked because of the mistakes that let LSU back in the game, including a pitch down at the 2. So a lot of people aren't inclined to hit that one, but he was very good. That was a very good game plan. And I thought he found a rhythm pretty early in the game, and he was great on third down. Now, his quarterback was great on third down, but play calling was very, very good on third down as well. So you get that's what I mean. This has been a fun exercise with solving for the future because this will solve for the future moving forward as well. If you're able to sustain this, and we believe a lot of this will be sustainable, then you can. And that's why I think it's not just that Florida State won that game. A lot of people probably have maybe more confidence than is reasonable through one real game, but it's all because there's some sustainability to the offense. And I think that's what you and I talked about.
Well, yeah, and even if you were to game plan against some of the things we hit, all of those plays have multiple options. Like every pass play has 4 reads. I get that. I'm talking about basic things that Jordan can just do differently before the snap. And it's different in college than it is in a pro style offense where, you're under center, or even in the shotgun where you're saying, all right, if the safeties do this, you do that. This offense has a running element to it as well. A lot of these plays that have a little zone read before you even get to the progressions.
Yeah.
So it's a nightmare to prepare for, and we would expect that the running game is going to look much more consistent a week from tomorrow than it did this past Sunday.
I can't wait. There
it is.
That's solving for the future with our friends at ISF. ISF works collaboratively, if I could speak, collaboratively with you.
It's kind of like a Wednesday because of the lateness of the week.
We're a little bit off. They find the best solutions that best fit your needs. You know what you're doing. You know why you've done it that way, but you also know things need to change and stay up to date. They don't come in and tell you what to do without knowing you and your history. They work closely with you, getting your team's input, and then provide their expertise to make recommendations for a path forward. Again, not telling you what to do, but telling you how to develop strategies for your future, the most efficient processes that support those strategies, and technology solutions that help fit your organization. It's ISF. Check them out online, isf.com. Jeff Cameron Show. Come back. Probables here momentarily. 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
You were always more than my mom. You were my role model, my best friend, and biggest supporter. You filled my days with unconditional love. And you also prepared for the day when you couldn't be here. Because of the woman you were back then, I'm able to be the woman I am now. Your planning made this moment possible.
Set your family up for life. Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance. Your friends for life.
This is Andy Cohen. When I was a law enforcement officer, I devoted my life to a career of service and protection. Who's protecting you? Give me a call. 850-671-FARM. That's 671-FARM. Helping you is what we do best.
Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi. Not licensed to do business in all 50 states.
Let me tell you what T-Spark stands for. It stands for strength, commitment, teamwork, and heart. We don't ever quit until we've got nothing left to give. Our team is unstoppable. Want a guaranteed win? Call T-Spark Enterprises for your next roofing or construction project. We conquer all peaks. TSparkConstruction.com. License number CCC 1331204.
This is Kyle, Service Manager from Barano Heating and Air. Schedule an appointment from your mobile device to learn about our Total Comfort Service Program. With guaranteed same-day service, 15% off necessary repairs, and $25 berry bucks to use towards air filters and other products. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air. Any day, anytime, anywhere. Online at baranoac.com.
Florida license CAC 1816-186. Sellers Tile does it better for business owners, contractors, designers, and homeowners. Better design ideas, better quality tile, carpet, and hardwood flooring, better mosaics, ceramic, and vinyl solutions. And Sellers makes it easier with their amazing showroom and first-class professionals. Maybe it's time to get Sellers working for you on Capitol Circle Northeast, just north of Mahan Drive, or online at sellerstile.com for better style, quality, and design. Go with Sellers in Tallahassee. Call 656-8453.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
So let's rapid fire this thing very quickly. First things first, tonight, 6 o'clock, wake up Warchant TV. Tune in, watch our boys, Corey and Aslan. There you go. That's presented by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Next, we will get to probables with our friends from Tula. That'll be good. But I should make mention of Zaxby's, which I failed to do earlier, and you guys know how much they support what we do. Pre-game, post-game, no game at all. Doesn't matter. Anytime's the right time for Zaxby's platters, just as long as you're hungry. Feed your team with your choice of traditional or buffalo fingers, boneless or traditional wings. If you're having trouble deciding, get the best of both worlds with a sampler platter. Don't forget the world-famous sauce. Satisfy your chicken craving with Zaxby's platters. Order online or with the app. Here's Tallahassee Zaxby's, a proud Golden Chief booster for 17 years. Go Noles. There you go. Those two things. Should also mention, if you're looking to buy a new home. Yeah, man. Shannon and Chad are both great. And I'm going to, Shannon, Chad, you guys, come on. We're loving life right now with the Noles. I'm not going through all of it right now. Everybody knows that if you want to buy a new home and you want to get the best rates and you want the best in the business, go see these guys. Legendary Home Loans. That's what I'm talking about. 844-FSU-LOAN. 844-FSU-LOAN. Or you can just visit them to learn more. FSUHomeLoans.com. That's FSUHomeLoans.com.
A note on that schedule for the second promo read, which is Zaxby's Warchant Game Day. For road games, somebody has asked about this. I thought the pregame show was 3 hours before kickoff. For home games, yes, that's true, where we're live at Hotel Indigo. But for roadies, we start an hour before the game. So 6:30 next week, it's going to be live on Warchant TV, and that'll be one link that'll take you all the way through the postgame. So we look forward to doing that. That's a week from tomorrow. And then after that, like you said, we're very thankful that we returned to Saturdays.
Yeah, Saturdays.
I like watching college football on Saturdays, but I'm finding that my schedule, I prefer it to be a little bit more Monday through Friday is leading up to the game,
Yeah,
and then Saturday is the game.
Scott, I don't know why you haven't participated in 10 years. That's on you. You should apologetically send 10 cans of whatever non-perishable food item you'd like to contribute to a shelter in honor of you having not participated. But that's all right. I understand we don't take calls anymore, and that's the way we used to do that. I'm just teasing you. Have fun with it.
You want to take some calls?
No.
Okay.
What I do want is for you guys to pick whatever charity of your choice. You keep tabs. It's an honor system. If I beat you, you know the deal. Tally it up. If I lose to you, I'm keeping tabs of the games that I've already lost. I went 5-4-1 last week. Let's hope to do better this week. Let's put it that way. Probables, are you ready? Let's get to. Let's do it.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching, probables?
And there it is. Tallulah, CBD, juice bar, floating around like you're in space. Good times. Delta 8.
Just throwing terms out there.
Yeah. 4-4, Washington, St. Louis. St. Louis was down last night by 4 runs, came back and won in the 9th. That sucked. Josiah Gray is pitching for the Nationals. Cardinals are throwing Adam Wainwright. Game's tied at 4 in the 4th. Reds, Cubs, Luis Sessa, Adrian Sampson, 0-0. Giants, Brewers, Scott Alexander, Corbin Burns. Giants, Brewers, TBD, Freddie Peralta. Marlins, Phillies, Sandy Alcantara, Kyle Gibson. Twins, Yankees.
The Marlins are throwing Sandy? All right. We got a 3-gamer with him.
There you go.
I don't think we missed him all year.
Twins, Yankees, Sonny Gray, Nestor Cortez. And finally tonight, late, White Sox, A's, Dylan Cease, J.P. Sears, and that is a look at those that shall reside on the bump. You want a piece of this Buffalo Rams action? You and I put it on the big board.
Oh, we got to bring that back.
Mm-hmm.
We got to start wagering some tall boys.
You and I haven't wagered in a while. At the end of our time at ESPN, before they sold the station out from under us, that was me kicking your ass on the big board. It was a steady stream of ass beatings.
I missed the big board. I hope it's still hanging in that room.
I doubt that it is.
Yeah, I know.
I went in there when I still had the key before they changed the locks after we left, and I went in there to salvage. I was worried that your Mets gear was going to be taken. And so I went in there one night after I finished my SiriusXM golf show and I was driving past on Capitol Circle. It was like 11 o'clock at night. And I went in there. It worked. I probably shouldn't have been in there, but I did. I went in there and I grabbed a few things, but luckily we didn't know it at the time. A mutual friend of ours was actually doing the work and then gathered some other stuff.
I think he still got it, but it's been a year. If he tossed it by now, I guess, that's on me. But yeah.
One of those things was cool.
Yeah, it was.
You needed to have one of those. But anyhow, yeah. So the big board was intact, and I thought about ripping it off the wall since they were going to rip up the wall anyhow.
Mm-hmm.
But then it was like, that's too big to put in my car. I can't get that in my car.
No, you needed a flatbed to get that out of there. Safely, at least. We've seen some people, especially on that I-10 trip home, that were just attaching things to their cars that had no business.
Well, anytime you're in the state of Mississippi, you'll see some interesting things. Frightening things.
And we did.
Sad things. Depressing things.
And somehow you found a way to stop at the same coffee shop on both sides of the trip. Randomly. We did not memorize the exit.
My brain just like, that seems like the most civilized part of Mississippi, this little area here.
Even though you almost got in a fight with a truck driver.
What are you going to do? Good work out of you. Good job, Director Matthew. Be well, everybody. Talk to you later. Peace.